Last weekend, my athletes were back in action, and this time it was at the Northern Athletics Championships. First up, we've got Isaac. He was tackling two events at the same time, which is common for a multi-eventer. He went for his two favourite events, the pole vault and the shot put. Unfortunately, because of the clash, he only actually got 3 shot puts. This is warm-up throws, and he threw 1180, which is second best ever. The pole vault, which is probably his favourite event, he went over 3 meters 80, which is his equal season's best. He was vaulting really well technically and was super unlucky not to get 390 today. Then we had Esme. Again, she was tackling 2 events at the same time. So she had the hurdles. Here we go with the heat. She ran a new personal best and she won her heat in the under 17 women's 60 hurdles. She was straight over to the long jump, and here she is doing a pop-up. We knew that she was in decent shape, but we didn't expect it to go as well as it did straight away over 5 meters before going out to a new personal best of 5 meters 17. And that for Esme was a huge win. She was straight from the long jump back over to the hurdles to run her semi-final. In the semi-final, she didn't run quite as quick as the heat, but she came through in second place and qualified for the final. By this point, the legs are starting to get a little bit tired, but here she is again in the final, running a very similar time and coming 5th in the under 17 women's 60 metre hurdles. It was a really good comeback comp for Ez. Then we had Fran. Fran was tackling the 400 metres for the very first time. Fran is a English schools medalist over 300 metre hurdles, but she is predominantly a heptathlete. So she trains for 200 metres and 400 metres. She trains for 200 metres and 800 metres. And here she is running her first ever indoor 400 metre flat. The tactic we had for this race was basically, let's try and run the time that's going to be required so she could do this event at the Nationals next month. The time she needed was 59 seconds dead, and we went off really, really hard. Definitely too hard looking back, but if she didn't do it, she wouldn't know what shape she was in and she wouldn't know what she was capable of. So she started to get filled with lactic at this point, and the other athlete who sat on her shoulder starts to gain in confidence, builds it up and just overtakes her on the line, but Fran dropped 58.8, so she's qualified for Nationals. Just a few hours later, she was back for the final. In the final, we decided to go for a different tactic. The tactic here was to go off much slower and try and kick at the end, so she wouldn't get the lactic as late and had a little bit in reserve to fight for a medal. However, she probably went off a little bit too slow and didn't quite get in the race. So at the halfway point at 200 metres, she went through in 4th, about 5 to 10 metres behind the medals. However, she got tripped just going into the second bend on the second lap, but she still had plenty in reserve to kind of summon a little bit of a fight back, but at this point she was too far behind. We know now for Fran that the best thing for her is to go out hard and try and use her set of skills. She was back the next day for long jump. The long jump's been a bit hit and miss recently, and after this comp we've decided we're going to work on a new technique which allows her to use her speed a little bit more and do a simple knee drive leg shoot. So we'll see how that goes. The last member of the group competing this weekend was Will. He had a fantastic comp at the England Champs the week before. However, this one didn't start well. He went 580, 624. And then he salvaged it a little bit here with a 6 metre 45 jump. He finished in 4th. Wasn't the comp he wanted, but we have days like this. It doesn't always go how we expect it to.